Hi everyone. So my name is Louise and I'm part of the sales team for Coral Expeditions, and I'm coming to you live from our head office in Cairns today. We are recording today's webinar and I'll be sending a version around afterwards. You can expect it within 48 hours. You're welcome to send these around to your family and friends, watch it a little bit later, do with it what you will. But yes, give it about 48 hours and it should be in your inbox. I would also like just to thank everyone for taking the time to join our Kimberley webinar today, and we will have an opportunity for questions at the end. Like I mentioned before, just pop them in that little chat box and I'll get to them at the end. So today's focus is taking you on a journey with Coral Expeditions to give you an insight of how to explore the Kimberley's vast and rugged coastlines the Australian way and with the Kimberley experts. For those of you that are new to Coral Expeditions, we have operated for 40 years and always with a single purpose, and that's to take like-minded explorers to remote places in small groups with expert guides and warm Australian hospitality. So let's start our Kimberley journey. Now, this is a preview of our documentary, which was recently aired on Channel 10. This is just a small snippet of it. You can watch the full thing on our YouTube channel or on our website. So the documentary was filmed on board our vessel last year and gives first-hand insight from our guests and crew about the pristine, wild and untouched lands of the Kimberley on board with us, the pioneers of expedition cruising in the Kimberley. So make sure you check it out. It only goes for about 30 minutes and it is a really great watch. But for now, here's a little...
I've never seen anything like it, and it's here in Australia.
The scenery, the art, it's just been an amazing experience.
There's nothing like seeing it in person.
You just get this sense of time and space and colour. It's a very special, almost spiritual experience.
You'll enjoy every single moment of it.
This video should give you a real understanding to Coral Expeditions and our long-standing relationship with the places that we visit, and our amazing knowledgeable local crew on board that are there to give you that ultimate experience. All of our crew are passionate leaders with expert experience in the Kimberley, and some of them have been working with CA Coral Expeditions for more than 20 years. And speaking of one of these staff members, I'd like to share this story with you, and it's about Ian Morris.
You come back on board, and if you didn't have a talk beforehand, it's explained to you. That's been amazing. And to have a guest lecturer, an Indigenous guest lecturer, is wonderful.
If you find a pepperbark tree, it stores a lot of water, fresh water.
Goimer's been wonderful with all his knowledge.
So for us, it's about interpreting, through storytelling and demonstrations and workshops and just getting the full experience.
One of the other amazing things about having Goimer on board is that he'll pick up some sticks and leaves and make it into a traditional medicine.
When you're feeling sick, very sick, this is what we used to do. Stringy bark. This thing is very powerful, bush medicine. Cutting it. So once the Micasins came from Indonesia, they brought this yiki. We call this yiki knife. Not only knife, tobacco, and many other things. So they were like our guys from Bunnings.
He's got such a wonderful personality. He's great.
Sitting through some of their onboard presentations, you're so much more attuned the next day when you go into a region, and it just really adds to the experience when you're out on an excursion.
So I worked with the Coral Expedition through adopted father of mine, whose name is Ian Morris. Ian kind of became adopted by my grandparents, and my grandfather was Ian's mentor.
In order to learn Indigenous science up there, I had to be good at language. I began learning the Indigenous languages very young. Then the old men could talk to you and tell you all the fine details. They didn't know how to say it in English. And that's what happened in Australia. English dominated, and it meant that Indigenous people weren't able to express all the fine details that they had. And it's very sad because the price we had to pay for that sort of linguistic ignorance was we lost all the knowledge that they had accumulated over 65,000 years of managing this land. It was the key to the whole environment, and it sort of stopped with language. So I was really keen to learn that stuff, their language and their science, and I was in heaven.
So that's how I got to know Ian, and that's how I got to learn from him as well.
Right, so on the Kimberley Cruise, apologies for the delay, we offer 3 fantastic itineraries to the Kimberley region. So the Kimberley Cruise is a 10 nights departing Darwin or Broome and covers the main icons of the Kimberley. We depart April through to September with all 3 vessels in the region every year. A frequently asked question that we get is which direction should I do? And it honestly does not matter. The Kimberley has a lot of scattered islands, therefore whichever side of the ship and with the moving tides and all the beautiful outdoor sitting areas, you're always going to have a spectacular view. Whether you start in Darwin or Broome, you're going to start and end with a highlight, and you'll have plenty of highlights in between. So never fear. We also have another 10-night Kimberley voyage. However, this one is an arts and culture themed itinerary. Very similar itinerary to the 10-night Kimberley Cruise. However, this itinerary is more focused on the arts and culture of the Kimberley and the Tiwi Islands. There'll be opportunities to visit art centres where you can purchase traditional and contemporary art directly from the source, as well as hand-designed, hand-selected guest lecturers who will share their knowledge of their cultures and traditions of the local communities along the way. The Kimberley itinerary really is an added bonus, and getting to visit the Tiwi Islands as well as the main Kimberley icons, it's unreal. Our third itinerary of the Kimberley series is our Kimberley Icons, which is 12 nights, and that departs Darwin and Broome in September. So this itinerary combines our classic 10 nights Kimberley itinerary with a visit to the spectacular Rolly Shoals Marine Park and Ashmore Reef. So this will give you the opportunity to snorkel or dive. It's an optional extra, but some of the world's best marine parks, which are home to over 200 species of coral and almost 700 species of fish, which they're not found on other coral reefs. So I do think that extra 2 nights really is just worth it, especially if you're an avid diver. So what to expect on a Kimberley expedition? I'm going to run through a few slides to show you. I find almost everyone's feedback when returning from the Kimberley is along the lines of they have no words to describe it. You just have to go there and see it for yourself. It's just a magical place. I really couldn't agree more. So King George Falls, or Omari Falls, is Western Australia's highest twin waterfall, and a visit to these falls are one of the highlights of a Kimberley expedition cruise with us. Before we reach the falls, you'll enjoy a scenic cruise in our Explorers up King George River, where you'll be absolutely mesmerised by the orange sandstone cliffs which frame the river. When cruising up the river at sunrise, you really notice the colour of the emerald green waters and the orange cliffs, and it's just an incredible experience to witness. Once you've reached the falls, you can take the option to get up closer to the 80-metre waterfall by transferring into one of our Zodiacs. For the brave or the crazy people like myself, you can get up very close and go under the falls, which is just an incredible experience. It's so much fun, and there's always lots of laughs. There'll be a few opportunities along the way to have a Kimberley shower, so don't forget to pack your swimmers. So the Kimberley is a great place to view multiple rock art galleries, including Jar Island Rock Galleries, which is where we're going to view the Guion rock art. There are walking options that range from easy, medium to hard, so everyone's able to experience this incredible artwork and learn their stories. It is really mind-blowing to learn the stories behind the art creations, and to be able to see it in real life is an absolute privilege. In the afternoon, after visiting the artworks, we head out on the Explorers to Enjo Peninsula, where we get to explore the C-53 plane wreck, whilst our guest lecturer on board, they'll educate the group on the remarkable survival story of the US Air Force. While we're here as well, we'll get to stretch our legs and explore the surrounding salt flats, searching for bees, birds, crabs, wildflowers, and those beautiful boab trees. The Kimberley is a great place to view. Oh, no. That's not that one. So I've skipped too many slides. So Mitchell Falls, it's accessible by the scenic helicopter from a remote beach in Prince Frederick Harbour, which is close to the ships where you'll be tended in our Zodiacs to explore the Explorer to the helicopter. The flight is approximately 20 minutes each way. The doors are off for that added adventure. You'll have a walk around for about an hour at the top at the falls, and you'll get to do a short walk to the lookout and go for a little dip. Don't have to worry about crocodiles up there, you're safe. The helicopter option can be booked on board with our expedition team. The cost is roughly $900. It's an incredible experience and I'd highly recommend it. It's absolutely spectacular being able to see the Kimberley by air, and this is a big highlight for many of the guests on board, especially on my trip. I would recommend packing a lanyard to strap, as like I said, the doors are off, so you don't want to drop your phone out while you're trying to take the pictures. So yes, we do recommend taking your lanyard around your neck. Now, for those of you that opt not to do the heli, you'll be able to enjoy a cruise up Parosis Creek to spot the wildlife. The Parosis Creek is located in Prince Frederick Harbour, which is one of the Kimberley's most spectacular locations. The harbour is dotted with islands lined with mangroves and monsoon rainforests. And make sure you pack your binoculars because the mangroves are a perfect hiding spot for the crocodiles and for the bird life. So white-bellied sea eagles and other birds of prey are often seen here. And at low tide, expansive mud flats reveal large populations of mud skippers and mangrove crabs. We do aim for those 2 shore excursions daily, so the guests that did the heli will get the chance to cruise up Parosis Creek as well. And then the group that did the Parosis Creek in the morning will have another opportunity to do it again in the afternoon on a different tide, and you'll be able to search for all different types of wildlife. Now, King Cascades is reached by Prince Regent River, where you'll enjoy a leisurely cruise up in the Explorers, and it's a good opportunity to spot bird life and hopefully some crocodiles as well. We have had reports back to the head office that the last expedition up the river, they were met by a croc as they entered the Cascades, and it was quite a big one. The cruise up the river is approximately 27 kilometres, so we are one of the small handful of operators that can actually visit this majestic spot due to the comfort and the power of our custom-built Explorer tenders. It's just simply too far to travel to these falls in those inflatable Zodiacs, especially under that hot Kimberley sun. King Cascades is a beautiful terrace of waterfall it's one of the most photographed in the Kimberley. Falling from a considerable height, water tumbles down staggered terraces of Kimberley sandstone, which layers of moss and fern, so it looks like a beautiful hanging garden. The Explorer will nose right into the Cascades, and you'll be able to stand on the front and get that famous Kimberley shower. And then straight after, one of our crew will give you a nice fresh towel. But we do recommend maybe taking a windbreaker because it can get a little bit chilly on the way back with the wind. A significant site in the early history of Australia, Philip Parker King named nearby Carring Bay after he beached his leaking vessel HMC Mermaid to do repairs. So while stranded on this remote coastline for 17 days, the ship's carpenter carved HMC Mermaid 1820 into the bottle-shaped trunk of the baobab tree near the beach. 200 years later, the baobab tree has since split into 2 trunks, like a mermaid's tail, and is about 12 metres wide now. There's a nice beach walk near the backwater as well, which is a great opportunity to stretch the legs and view the local bird nest before returning back to the ship. Montgomery Reef appears twice a day as the sea recedes in massive 11-metre tides, some of the biggest tide changes in the world. It's truly incredible. We set our alarms early and we head off at dawn to witness the reef emerging at sunrise. As the tide falls, Montgomery Reef rises from the ocean in a cascade of rushing water, revealing flat-top reef. We cruise along the inlet in the Explorer whilst guests take the opportunity to transfer into the Zodiacs and get closer to get a closer look at the water gushing off the reef and the bird life taking advantage of the emerging reef, feeding on the marine life left exposed in those rock pools. Part of the Kimberley Cruise is spent enjoying sunset drinks on remote beach locations, so depending on the tide during your voyage, you may get to enjoy a sunset drink on the nearby sand cay overlooking Monty Reef like we did. The guests were having so much fun on the sand cay, they were dancing to ABBA, they didn't want to leave. It was a great way to finish another amazing day in the Kimberley. Horizontal falls. Now this is a must. Even just to witness the faces of our guests coming back from their adventure through the falls was so uplifting and the whole ship was buzzing on adrenaline. Our skippers are extremely careful and highly trained. They explain everything very thoroughly and safety is always at the front of their minds. And most of all, they give you a really amazing experience. If you're not into riding through the falls, you can still get up nice and close while sitting in our Explorer tenders. We do have our Zodiac with our expedition team just as you are about to head into the falls to capture your photo. So you don't need to worry about taking your phone or your camera as you go through. You might drop it, and our team are there to take the picture so that you can really enjoy the experience. A little tip for you, the ship will be anchored in Talbot Bay, not far from the falls. So make sure you look over the side of the ship at night time to say hello to the friendly local tawny sharks that like to hang around the ship at night. They get attracted to the light, and we saw about 50 sharks on our trip. So that's really incredible. Then we got Nares Point. It's a great example of the incredible rock formations that you'll witness plenty throughout the Kimberley voyage. So if you are a rock enthusiast, you will be in heaven. To get to Nares Point, you'll enjoy a cruise through whirlpool tides, which is also super popular in the Kimberley. It's a must. And you'll learn the stories of the sailors and their challenges over the years navigating the extreme tides of the Kimberley. There's such a beautiful beach nearby to Nares Point where you can go for a little beach comb, search for microbats in caves, and be on the lookout for those beautiful native flowers that you get throughout the Kimberley. So the Lassipede Islands, subject to weather and tides, we do visit the Lassipede Islands. The Low Islands are a nature reserve and a very important bird area, supporting up to 18,000 breeding pairs of brown boobies. As well as a significant breeding area for it's also a significant breeding area for green sea turtles. So we explore the island's lagoon by Zodiac and explorers to spot many different species of birds and marine life. I've never seen so many turtles in the same place at once, so that was absolutely amazing. And we have also received reports that a crocodile has been hanging around and recently got caught on camera feasting on a deceased turtle, so make sure you have your cameras ready. Now, the wildlife encounters and the seasons of the Kimberley. The Kimberley is not short on wildlife. There will be opportunities to spot white-bellied sea eagles and other birds of prey during the low tides at Porosis Creek, which we mentioned earlier is home to abundance of wildlife. Crocodiles frequent these waters, and you'll often find mud skippers and mangrove crabs on the mud flats on the low tides. Seasons in the Kimberley are the waterfall seasons, which is generally March to May. However, due to the rain this year, we're still lucky enough to be experiencing waterfalls later in the year. Then May to July is the dry season where the weather is cooler and the landscape colours are vibrant and green. And then there's the whale season, which is usually July through to October, and that's the best time to sight humpback whales, which migrate to the Kimberley waters, and we received great reports of whale sighting this year. It's been incredible. Now, I do have another video. I'm going to hope it works for you all. I'll give it a play, and then during the video, if you do have any questions, please feel free to pop them in because we are coming to the end of our Kimberley journey. So I'll play this for
Coral Expeditions are the pioneers of Kimberley cruising. With over 30 years' experience, our local knowledge is unrivaled. Our small ships are designed to explore and connect, with fewer guests and more time ashore. Our local crew guide the way with Australian hospitality and pride. Join us on a classic Australian adventure. Cruise with the pioneers. Coral Expeditions.
So we'll try and get to everyone's questions now. However, if we don't get to your questions, you can find our reservation contact details on the screen. We will be happy to answer anything we haven't covered today, or you can reach out to your preferred travel agent as well. If you've joined late or would like to rewatch this webinar again or send this to friends and family, we will send out a recorded version to everyone, usually within 48 hours. We have just released our new Kimberley Cruise Guide. It provides details on the fleet, highlights of the voyages, maps and itineraries, locations, anything Coral Expeditions. So you'll receive a free printed copy of our 2024 Cruise Guide by visiting our website and completing your details, and you can view a digital copy online. So I'll just pop this on and see if there's any questions or chats coming through. Thanks, Michelle. A normal Australian power plug's okay on the ships? Yes, absolutely. So on either side of the bed there is bedside tables, and they also come with normal USBs as well, which you can plug in. Otherwise, normal Australian plugs are fine, as we are an Australian owned and built ship as well. Let's wait for a few more to come through. So one that we usually get is, do we need to bring our own towels? No, you do not. We always provide those on board, and then on the excursions as well, our expedition team usually take a big bag of towels just in case you do have that Kimberley shower. Another one that we get a lot of is what type of footwear do I take? I honestly swear by the Tiva sandals or shoes that you don't mind getting a little bit wet, because coming on and off those explorers, sometimes we do a wet landing where you do have to dip your toes in the water very quickly, but otherwise just your normal sneakers is fine as well. You're also able just to wear thongs, normal shoes. We're very relaxed on board, so we don't expect you all to dress up really nice for dinners every night. You can just shorts and a t-shirt, nice relaxed environment. That's all the questions for today. I do want to thank you guys for joining me today. I'm really sorry about the delays in the video. But if you're considering booking, please reach out to our reservations team. The details are on the screen to contact, or like I've mentioned, to chat to your travel agent. If you have booked already, you're about to have a trip of a lifetime. There is really nothing truly as spectacular as the Kimberley. There's just no words for it. So who better to do it with than Coral Expeditions, the pioneering cruise line. So yeah, if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact our reservations team, and thanks for joining. Bye.